Hi, I am Parth, and we are working for a project for SSAD. My other teammates are Rishabh Singhal and Rohan Sharma. Our project client is Meghna Kambam, and our mentor TA is Project Bandopadhyay. So our project is based on behavior change modeling.
So our project is based on behavior change modeling, which is a framework for determining the behavior to be changed in an individual based on what their traits are, what the preferences are, and what their capabilities are. So suppose a person has a behavior which he has uh, the will to change. So he can use our application to enter the behavior he wants, and then he'll be asked even further questions where he'll have to specify the type of function which he would like to do in order to change his behavior. So a behavior change model has three major steps which are divided into eight sub steps as given in this document provided to us by our client. So first, what you have to do is understand the behavior to be changed. So we define the behavior, and then we select the target behavior. So that's the choice of the user. And after that, the user knows what he needs to change based on what he says. So these the four options he has that has to be specified by the users. Next is the intervention functions. So the intervention functions are basically decided by the user on the basis of how of his parameters such as his age, his gender, and uh, his income, and other such social parameters as well. And there we decide what the intervention has to be, where we then categorize that intervention and have multiple techniques for an intervention function. And for those intervention techniques, what we have is multiple different techniques which are catered to different users based on what they can do and what the best thing for them would be. For suppose a person who is busy for office, he can't do some stuff which kids can do when they go to school. So what we need to do is have a different implementation for that particular function. So he can do a technique like go for jogging in the morning instead of a child who may do some school exercise in a gym. So that's it. And for that technique, we have a mode of delivery where we specify what the user exactly has to do and when he has to do and who has to do. It need not be that the user is the one who has to do all. It can be that some person related to the user, like some family member. For suppose if the person has lung diseases, it might not be his issue. It might be that some other family person has a cigarette issue. So we have to this specify the person who has to do this. So these are the eight steps which we have incorporated in our application.
For our application, we have to follow these steps. A targeted health module is selected by the user. These behavior are identified by filling certain set of questions. For a prioritized behavior, select a method to be followed based on different factors. This includes regular nudge and feedback too.
Main goal of our project was to develop a web framework to make a multi-platform application accessed by both the client and users, which has to be both functional for providing dynamically loaded questions based on the user's previous input. And for the admin part, there should be one create new module for behavior change. A reminder system integrated into the application so as to remind the user about the selected method of intervention. This was initially to be done using WhatsApp and email system. So initially, a user faces a set of questions, and a user interface is generated, in which according to the option selected by the user in the questions, an interactive schedule is shown, and information about the selected behavior or targeted behavior is shown. And according to that targeted behavior and schedule, time to time notifications are generated and sent via an automated mail. All the progress is also tracked.
So initially, our project started out as in the first few meetings, we had a high level overview of our entire project. After that, we were given certain tasks to assess our abilities by the technical manager. So I was given to explore Kubernetes clusters and deploy a test application, and my teammate Parth was told to use AngularJS and further study it. Then we were next given books which we studied based on priming theory, which uses the Comb framework for this behavior change modeling. And then after that, we talked with the client, but the thing is, our client had some health issues. Our technical head had a minor stroke, so he was in the hospital, so we couldn't get the requirements. So that part got delayed, and after that, in around the end, when we had a few days left, initiated contact again, and then we got the requirements as to what to make for the application. Then we discussed as Flask for the framework, Python framework for the backend, and as for the front end, we decided on React JS so that we have a RESTful API in Python, and for the React JS part, it's just the rendering part for the front end user. So for the Python backend, I have a few APIs, which is called by my other teammate Rishabh in his React code. So I have a login API where the user has to enter his password and email, and a token is generated, which is stored in the front end, which can be used to validate the user. We have a sign up API where the user can be added, and other than that, we have a question API where we send Rishabh sends requests so that I give him the questions which are to be asked to the user, and the responses as well. And based on the response, Rishabh again sends a post request, so which in turn I set up my database so as to set up my automated mail system where I send a mail back to the user based on what the user name is, as the username is his email. So the username, an email based on what the user selected and what the intervention function and the technique to be used is sent to the user. And after that, the user will get updates on when the uh, mails are to be received, and then realize what the intervention, when he has to do what he has to do.
So I have done this React.js part, and this is a basic homepage with an individual login button and a join today button. So by using join today, we can create a new user. Like this means, let's say Rishabh 123 at the rate, or we can use this Singhal dot Rishabh at the rate 31, and let's say password is something 12345. Sign up. So there is a prompt user created. After clicking OK, it goes back to the home page, and then we use individual login to login. Then let's use this thing, single.rishabh31 at the rate login. Then there is a prompt like hi username and welcome to the world of lifestyle change. Ask your coach. So there is a button for logout here, and an everyday changes must do for all. This is the main thing of our project. So here we select the level 1 options, which is used by the user for selecting a targeted behavior, which is done in the backend. So first, a list of upper level questions is generated, and which is it takes from Python file. Then let's select one option. Let's say dummy 4. Initially, these I have filled the values with dummy values, and then according to the first option field, there are another list of questions. So let's say we choose some another dummy 17. So at last, it is means our result is outputted, and this is a mail sent prompt. So behavior to change, and according to the 4 7 combination, there will be some certain behavior change which is not provided by the client yet, the data. And then here is a click on CarenGrow to get back to the home page. So let's click, and there is a logout button.
As for the application, we've implemented the 2-3 level changes and the mailing automated mail system along with the user details, which are saved in a database and periodically sent to the user. Apart from that, if we get the data, and there's a lot of scope for improvement, and the API is also very extensible, which has been documented using Sphinx, and it's automatically documented based on what the uh, doc strings of the functions are and the classes as well along with that. And so these are the things. So the thing is, the problem, there were some problems which we faced in this project. The thing was, this project had started like very late. It started in November 1st, 2nd. We had like around 9 to 10 days to do it. After that, it was because the main technical person of our client had some health issues, due to which the one part was delayed for 1.5 months, for which we had to just go through the material. So the thing is, we have done. So what they did was they reduced the scope of the project, and this is what they told us to do. So that is all we had to do. And so, yeah. Thank you.